What's up, NBA fan? What's up, all sports fans? This your boy JB, host of the Behind the Bench podcast network and channel. Giving a shout out to the rest of the BTB crew. And for everyone who's tuning in, I hope that you support Behind the Bench, become a subscriber, and help make this show the best that it can be. Now, this guy right here, man. This guy right here. You know, a lot of basketball aficionados or whatnot, or even historians to a degree, as well as today's youth generation, either they are unaware or lost sight of the fact that this man right here, man, because I love history. I love history. I love honoring history. And I love the present, too. I love today's NBA. I enjoy watching the NBA as a whole. But people forget, or may not even know, that 23 years ago, how ironic, that Micharl Jordan was voted ESPN's #1 athlete of the 20th century. They had a top 100 Sports Century special in 1999 where they did a countdown of the top 100 athletes of the 20th century, of the past 100 years, right? And I remember the top 3 athletes selected were, number 3 was Muhammad Ali, which easily he could have been #1. I wouldn't have had no qualms. I love Ali. Number 2 is Babe Ruth, the myth, the legend, what he meant for baseball as a whole. And then Micharl Jordan was voted #1. And now, over these past 5-6 years, there's an agenda not to just diminish Micharl Jordan, but they're trying to erase Micharl Jordan from memory. This is a man who helped elevate the NBA to become a global entity. A global entity that generated $10 to $12 billion in revenue, largely because of his talent and his will as a player in this league, and helped elevating the sport to unparalleled levels. Along with the Magic Johnson and Larry Birds and the Dr. J's and all those great players of the 80s. The Kareem Abdul-Jabbars, the Moses Malones, people of that ilk, and they're trying to erase this man from memory. And the reason why is because they have to lower the bar, because he set the bar too high. And what I mean by that, and I'm going to be talking about this a lot, man, because it's not cool with the motivation, the motivation to erase him from memory is actually the service to basketball. Because you got to maintain the standard. You can't erase the standard, because the sport and the league can lose its way. And coming up as a fan of the NBA from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, the NBA always made sure that we respected and honored the legends who came before. The Will Chamberlains, the Bill Russells, the Jerry West, the Oscar Robinsons, the Bob Pettits, the Bob Cousy's. All these players that a lot of these talking voices are calling plumbers and firemen. It's an insult. It's a joke. And a lot of fans who grew up during that time, they getting tired of it and they speaking out. Like I said, if someone is proven to be better without shunning or chiding past errors, cool. We don't mind saying someone is better or proven to be considered as such. We ain't got no issue with that. But you can't deny the greatness of the past. You can't do that. But Micharl Jordan set the bar so high that now they have to try to literally terraform the NBA landscape to make it seem like that Jordan was just a above average player, that he faced inferior competition or whatnot, or that the rules would change for him to excel, which I've never heard it until recently. And when you look back on it, there were no rules changed for Micharl Jordan. Because if you're going to say the rules would change for Michael Jordan when he entered the league. That means everybody who followed him during the 80s, they play under the same rules. So if you're going to discredit Michael Jordan, then you're going to discredit all them other players. There were no rule changes during the 80s outside of the flagrant foul rule, and that was because, like I said, I respect the Detroit Pistons and what they achieved as a team, winning back-to-back championships, led by a point guard, Isaiah Thomas. When you win back-to-back, that means you was a great team. But their physical play crossed the line a lot of times. And it wasn't just Michael Jordan who complained to the league. Dominique Wilkins did. Larry Bird did. Reggie Miller did. Charles Barkley did. Larry Bird did. Mark Price did. Even the Karl Malone. Reggie Lewis. It was a ton of players back then who complained about the Pistons' style of play. They did cross the line at times, especially when they had to go up against the elite scorers of the league, But outside of that, it was nothing changed for Michael Jordan. Nothing. There was nothing given to Michael Jordan. Now, all superstars get calls. Every superstar get a call here and there, but it all balances out by the end of the game. A good officiating by games in, everything evens out, and it comes down to who's superstar going to play the best in the playoff series with the title on the line, and then ultimately what team is going to play the best. But Michael Jordan set the bar so high in that every superstar who has played in multiple finals has experienced defeat in championship play. Even Bill Russell, and it wasn't late during his career. It was early on in his career where Bill Russell suffered a championship defeat to the St. Louis Hawks and Bob Pettit in 1958. And Bill Russell was, they call him the greatest winner in league history. Hey, I have no, I respect the past, so I look at him as such, right? Okay. Larry Bird has suffered defeat in the finals. Magic Johnson suffered defeat in the finals. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar suffered defeat in the finals. Isaiah Thomas did. Tim Duncan did. Akeem Olajuwon did. Shaquille O'Neal, the Kobe Bean Bryant, Dirk Nowitzki. A lot of great players. A lot of all-time great players. Mount Rushmore players. Dr. J. They played in multiple finals. They experienced defeat. The only superstar as the lead player for his team, the leader, who never suffered defeat in championship play, and really on any level, college, Olympic, and pro, is Michael Jordan. So when someone does that on every level of basketball, beginning in college, we'll just say pro. We'll say pro. That means, for all practical purposes, in my eyes, that means that essentially you've conquered the sport. At that point, it's not even about the competition you face. That's inconsequential. You're really competing against yourself. That's what makes it seem like Jordan didn't have no competition. When you look back at his career, that's what makes it seem like he played against inferior competition, because really got to the point where, after he won his first three-peat and returned back to the NBA in 95, the only real question was, can he return back to his past level of play? And once he proved that, he racked off another 3 championships and then retired again in 1998. So when you do that, to me, you've conquered your sport. He conquered the sport of basketball, and there's no higher bar set than that. So I just want to drop that nugget. Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan. Until next time, this is JB for BTB Behind the Bench.